Right, hi everyone. So we are going to attempt to model a coin here. So we're just gonna model a simple base mesh, and we're gonna apply a bump map texture. For that we need Photoshop as well to create the bump map texture. So let's just very quickly model a coin here in Maya. Let's go to create polygon primitives, choose cylinder, and because we want our coin to be really round and not faceted like this is very much faceted, like bersegi-segi. So I'll go inside my channel box, go to poly cylinder, go down here, and we want to increase the subdivision axis to something like 60 perhaps, and you'll see that you get a nice rounded coin, which can then be scaled down in this way. Right, so for most coins we have this kind of edge, if you can see it here, like that edge at the edges there. So let's see which one would conform to our design. I would kind of pick this one perhaps. So we'll try and model our coin based on this one, and for that we need to choose the faces. And the way I have faces selection right now is, if I were to do that, it will select everything from top to bottom. Good. Now I want to extrude it in to give that edge some definition. Sorry. Alright, so let's just press Ctrl E, which is also our extrude command here. Extrude Ctrl E. Right, cool. Keep faces together is on. That is sweet, and I'll enable my scale tool, and that way I can grab this square and bring it in, just like that. Let's see what's a good size. That's a good size, I assume. Alright, cool. Now let's just bring it in again. So I'm gonna edit mesh, extrude again, Ctrl E, and bring that down a bit. Sweet. Alright, that is looking very good. That is, for the most part, that's what you want to do. And if you want, you can introduce a bevel. So let's just do that very quickly. I'm going to select this edge, press shift on my keyboard, double click, and you get the edge loop. Do the same thing with this one, and we want to introduce bevels on all sides. This one, double click, and probably that one too down there. Let's just apply that bevel now and see how it looks like. Go to edit mesh, bevel, let's choose the options box. I'm gonna reset things, edit, reset settings in the bevel options. And I know for a fact 0.5 is really big, so let's just bring it down to 0.15, give it segments of 2, and let's see how it looks like. Let's just zoom in a bit, click apply. That might not be too bad. Yeah, I think that's good. So I'm gonna bevel this part too, which I forgot to select. Also the inner parts here. Oopsie. There. And here. Oop. Cool. And click apply and see what we get. That is pretty good. Let's go back to object mode, and now we have a coin. Now with this coin, I'm going to close my bevel options. It's looking pretty sweet. If I were to press 3 on my keyboard to preview how it looks like in subdivision mode, it will give you a nice subdivided look, because we have all the tension there, and it will give us that fine look that we were looking for. But what we need to do now is we need to check our UVs. So for that, I'm gonna bring up the two pane side by side layouts by going to panels, layouts, to pane side by side. Let's change this one here on the right to panels, panel, UV editor, and let's look at our UVs, shall we? Let's have a look again. We just need to bother with this part, the 0 to 1 region, not all these three. I'm gonna press A and L, zoom everything in view. So now let's go to right click, hold, and select shell. So we have 3 shells here. That's defined when we first created the cylinder. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just gonna press W, select these two, and shift and press W and move it aside for now. These parts here, yeah, so this correspond to the outer edges there. Yeah, so what I can do is, perhaps I need more area for me to draw my texture map, so I'm just gonna stretch it out like so, and perhaps bring it down here, and probably it doesn't need to be that big, so I'm just gonna bring it down here. Select these two shells. Probably I'll just select this one and move it up. Bring this one here, right there, and that should be okay. Well, you can increase the size if you want, no worries, but yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I'll just bring this to the side, bring this down like so. Let's just increase the size together and see if I can fit both of them in the same space. Let's just scale it down a bit, move it back in place, scale it down, and that should be sweet. Let's just move this guy out of the way so we have more space to play with. So this is your bottom faces, this shell corresponds to the top faces, and now what we can do is, hold on, let's just go to object mode, select that guy. What we can do is we can take a UV snapshot of this image by going to polygons. We're inside our UV editor, mind you. Go to UV snapshot, and I'm gonna browse, and I'm gonna name it coin UV snapshot. Cool, save, and make sure the size is 1024. You can make it bigger, but we'll just settle for 1024 for now. We don't want it to be too big. Image format, set it as PNG. Cool. Let's press OK, and right. So here's my coin UV snapshot. We're gonna bring this image into Photoshop, and we can start creating our bump maps that will, kind of generate something like this. Sweet.